Namaste everyone, my name is Yamini and welcome to my channel loveee, where I share wellness videos inspired by yoga and Ayurveda. In today's video, I'm going to share the Ayurvedic perspective on coffee. So if you're a coffee lover just like me, even the smell of coffee can make you feel great. In the modern world, coffee has become our best friend. Coffee helps fuel productivity, it makes us more efficient, it kickstarts our day. And personally, as a coffee lover, I love the comfort of the smell of coffee and also the rituals associated with it. It is also something that we do to socially get together and enjoy a cup of coffee with our friends. There has been some scientific research on the health benefits of coffee due to its antioxidant properties. However, there is not enough research to really prove how efficient coffee is in its health benefits. Also, because coffee contains caffeine, which is a stimulant, it can impact your brain health based on your gender, your genetics, and the demographics that you come from. So each one of us is different, and the caffeine in coffee does impact all of us differently. Also, coffee does have an impact on the hormones of women. So we'll talk a bit about that later. In this video, I want to talk about how Ayurveda perceives coffee. And this video is not to tell you that coffee is bad for you and you have to stop it. This video's purpose is to really give you a different and new perspective, the Ayurvedic perspective on coffee, and help you be more mindful in your choice when you drink coffee. So let's get started. In Ayurveda, we categorize everything organic on this planet into three doshas or elements. The three doshas are Pitta, which is fire, Vata, which is air, and kapha, which is water. Now, coffee, as per Ayurveda, is primarily having the pitta and vata qualities. That is the qualities of fire and air, which makes it dry, heating, and also stimulating. And if had in excess, it can increase the pitta and vata or fire and air elements within us. And for those who already have an excess of pitta or vata, it can cause a pitta or vata imbalance. So it is critical as a starting point to understand yourself and understand what dosha you are as per Ayurveda. Each one of us is different and each one of us is made up of a different mix of elements or doshas. I have linked the free dosha quiz that you can take. It just takes 5 minutes of your time and you will find out which dosha you are. And based on that, you will understand better how coffee impacts you. Now, excessive coffee drinking can lead to two major imbalances. One is vata imbalance. So, if you're having a vata imbalance due to coffee, you will notice that you feel dry and acidic inside your stomach. You also feel restless, ungrounded. You feel more anxious and that your heart is beating faster. The second imbalance that excessive coffee drinking can lead to is pitta imbalance. So, pitta imbalance is characterized by increased heat in the body, which are symptoms like acid reflux, acidity, digestive issues, and also inflammation. So, when we talk about coffee, it's critical that you understand how much coffee you're consuming and when. So, I would highly recommend that your starting point be that you start journaling how many cups of coffee do you drink in a day and which time of the day are you drinking and how do you feel before and after you drink this cup of coffee. So if you know your dosha type and if you have journaled how much coffee you're drinking and the symptoms that you feel before and after drinking coffee, you will already be able to analyze whether the coffee is helping you or it's creating an imbalance. It is highly recommended that we do not drink more than 2 cups of coffee a day, and ideally, it's better to drink coffee in the morning to kickstart your day after your breakfast. Because if you drink coffee as the first thing to kickstart your day, it can cause acidity and dryness or irritability in your gut. In Ayurveda, we say it can cause excess pitta and vata, which you don't want in the morning. So have some breakfast or a little bit food to kickstart your day, and then have your first cup of coffee and maybe a second. And it's best to avoid coffee after meals or after 2 p.m. because this it will disrupt your sleep, cause insomnia, and it can also cause digestive issues. Now, the good news is that Ayurveda does not forbid coffee. Coffee is not considered as a toxin, but in Ayurveda, we do say that anything in excess is not good for you. So, one of the key principles of Ayurveda is balance. So, how do we have a balanced approach towards coffee drinking? Once you have understood your dosha and you have journaled your own coffee consumption, you have analyzed the symptoms or imbalances that you feel, here are a few recommendations that I can give you to balance or find balance in coffee consumption. Number one is choose wisely. There are many different types of coffee in the market out there, and it's very important that you choose organic coffee or coffee that is of good quality. This does not mean that it's the most expensive coffee. Sometimes even expensive products can be of a not good quality. Avoid instant coffees. These coffees are more processed and they can have an impact on your health. Also, be mindful when you drink coffee outside in bars, cafes, restaurants, because you do not know which coffee they're really using. And sometimes the coffee could be either not organic, highly processed, or too intense. And you will find that it disrupts your digestion or it creates some imbalance in you because of the type of coffee. So educate yourself and be very mindful in choosing the right type of coffee, and also try to lower the intensity of coffee that you drink. The second tip is timing matters. Please do not start your day with a cup of coffee, even though I know that feels great. Maybe just have a little food like a banana or an oatmeal or a piece of bread, whatever is your breakfast that you're having. Have a little bit of food before you have your first coffee. This will help your gut to process it better, because if you directly drink coffee, it can increase the acidity inside your gut. As I had said before, try to drink coffee in the morning, try to avoid coffee afternoon. The third and most important tip as per Ayurveda is additions to coffee. Now, as we said before, coffee as per Ayurveda has pitta and vata qualities, that is heating and drying. So you can add certain foods or spices to it to balance those properties. For example, if you are someone of pitta dominant dosha and you notice that coffee creates excessive pitta, for example, it gives you acid reflux or a heaty feeling, then you can add cardamom to your coffee, which helps you balance the pitta or heat inside the coffee. Another great addition is milk. So if you're someone who's of vata constituency and you notice that drinking too much coffee gives you a vata imbalance, it makes you anxious, restless, dry, acidic, then you can add milk to it, which will balance the vata properties. In summer, drink cold coffee. So have your coffee mixed with some milk and ice cubes, and this will help you balance both pitta and vata doshas in the coffee. Another interesting addition for the vata types or to reduce the dryness of coffee is to add coconut oil. I really recommend this to all my clients. It sounds very strange to add coconut oil to your coffee, but trust me, try it. You will not find it so strange, and it actually doesn't taste any different, even smells a bit nicer, and it helps you to balance out the acidic, dry, and heaty nature of coffee. The fourth tip that I want to give you is hydration. As per Ayurveda, coffee can be drying, it has the vata quality, and sometimes it can lead us to be dehydrated. So, if you're drinking coffee, please make sure that you drink water along with it. Or if it's summer season, like I mentioned, the best alternative is to have cold coffee. The fifth tip is that quantity does matter. So please, please, please journal how many cups of coffee you're drinking and the intensity of the coffee. Try to reduce the intensity or the number of cups that you're drinking slowly. So make a 6 month plan, and maybe every 2 weeks you can reduce 1 cup of coffee, or every week you can reduce the intensity of the coffee, and slowly at the end of the 6 month period you would have reduced quite a lot your coffee intake and the intensity. This is a very sustainable way of reducing your dependency on coffee. Even though coffee is not a toxin, it is a stimulant and it can impact your brain health, your sleep. So it's very important that you are not addicted to coffee and you don't drink too much coffee. And my final tip is for women. Coffee is known to affect the estrogen hormone in women, and that's why it's very critical for women to be mindful of their coffee intake during their ovulation period. So, ovulation is generally about 10 to 15 days after your period, depending on your menstrual cycle, and it's 2 weeks before your next period arrives. So, it's somewhere in the middle of your cycle. It's a short period, and if you can, during the ovulation period, completely stop drinking coffee or have very little coffee diluted with milk and ice, that will be really good for you, and it will avoid that coffee impacts your estrogen levels, which are already quite high during ovulation. This approach of being mindful of your menstrual cycle and changing your lifestyle or adjusting your habits as per your cycle is called cyclic living. It's a very, very powerful practice, and it can help you women out there to balance your hormones naturally. So, if you're interested more in cyclic living, I have a full online course and a free video for you to watch to understand the cyclic living philosophy. I will link all the details and you can have a look. So, we've gone through understanding the dosha or elements that coffee is made up of, its properties. We have spoken about the importance of self understanding and journaling your habits. And finally, I have given you powerful ways to balance your coffee intake. So, what if you want to reduce your coffee intake or completely break up with coffee? What can be the alternative to coffee? The number one alternative to coffee is chicory. It's completely natural and it mimics a little bit the taste of coffee. The second alternative to coffee, herbal tea. Herbal teas are very good for you, very soothing for the gut. Of course, that does not mimic the taste of coffee, but it's a great alternative. Another alternative is golden milk, which is warm milk made with cardamom and turmeric. This is great during winter season. It is anti-inflammatory, it's very soothing, very grounding. Of course, again, it does not mimic the taste of coffee, but it's a very healthy alternative. So that's all about coffee and Ayurveda in today's video. I hope you have learned a new perspective on coffee. I hope it has made you think about self understanding, evaluating your habits, understanding why you do what you do, trying to achieve balance and trying to unlearn and relearn so that you can live a healthy and balanced life. If you're interested in learning more about Ayurveda, I also have an online course called Ayurvedic Living in the Modern World. I will link it down and you can have a look at it. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.